Hello, everyone. I just got done watching Survivor season 43, episode 5. Uh, it took me a long while to actually watch it. The last couple of episodes had just not gotten me that very excited. So it took a while before I decided to watch it again. But after watching it, at this point, it's just a comedy show. It just, I don't know what's going on. So last episode, they voted out Lindsay because Lindsay got paranoid and she started threatening people in her own alliance, which is foolish. But Lindsay was full of herself. I don't know why, but this seems to be a theme with people this season. They are all very egotistical and full of themselves. The number one advantage that you have in these kinds of games is that you get to watch other people play it, so that way you know what is going to happen. You know how to plan and strategize for the game. But these folks, they seem to come into the game like they're brand new, even though they admitted to have watching the show before and they know how it goes. And they have this serious ego. I mean, Lindsay, what is she like? Um, Middle-aged nurse, and she was like, I'm the strongest mentally and physically, and I was just like blown away by the ego. I mean, even on her own tribe, she wasn't the strongest at anything, and she certainly didn't show it. I don't know what's happening with these people, but they voted out Lindsay, and but there was one vote for Geo, and there was another vote for what is her name? The other girl, Cassidy. Yes, Cassidy. There was another vote for Cassidy as well. So I guessed was my guess was that Lindsay. I think my guess was that Lindsay voted for Geo, and Geo voted for Cassidy. That was my guess. All right, so they come to this episode, and it started out right away with Ryan holding court, and he's talking to everyone, and he's like, if everyone wants to talk about what happened, it's just like, you're in on the vote. Why does everyone need to talk about what's happening? There's only one person that was confused about anything. But he stated it like that, and right away Cassidy was like, well, I have a question. I want to talk to there was a vote for me, and I wanted to talk to the person who did that or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I can talk to you if you like. And she was like, you voted for me? And he was like, no, I didn't vote for you, but I can have a con. I was like, she was like, well, I want to talk to the person that voted for me. I'm like, what is going on in this guy's head? And he's like, well, I didn't want the person who voted for you all this. And she's like, as he's saying all this nonsense, she's literally looking over at Gio. Like, obviously he's the one that voted for her. So they stepped aside, and her and Gio had a conversation, and he was just saying that he didn't know how the votes was going to go, and he was just like, if it didn't go for Lindsay, he just wanted to like a backup vote or what something like that. And uh and then he accused her of voting for him, and she was like, obviously it was Lindsay. Did you think Lindsay voted for herself? It's just like, if you know you voted for Cassidy and there's another vote for you, then there's one vote for you, and everybody else voted for Lindsay. What did you think Lindsay voted? Like, just all kinds of stupid. All right. So that is the blue tribe. Just got in tribe. So we go over to the yellow tribe, and the Asian the Asian lady with the bruised up chin. I hope her last name is not Chin, because she her and the crazy eyed lady that I think is a therapist, but her eyes are mad as hell. Like, I she needs to get off whatever pills she's on, because her eyeballs are bugging out. Anyways, those two are walking around looking for idols, and they found it. The unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, was the one that found beware advantage, and that was the last one. Every other tribe found their beware advantage, and everyone made it into an actual idol, like immediately after they found it. So no one had to go without their vote. So she finds the beware advantage, runs away all excited, runs over to a bug-eyed therapist, and she tells her, "Do you think she asked her, do you think I should open it, because she doesn't want to lose her vote?" And bug-eyed therapist didn't even respond to the question. She's just like, "Oh, come over here, let's open it." She's just like immediately just like, I don't give a shit. Let's just open it. So she convinced her to open it. They open the beware advantage, and it says obviously that she has to collect a special bead from every other player in order to make it into an idol. And if she doesn't, then she doesn't have a vote. All right. So they're reading it, they're talking about it. And Bug-Eyed Therapist is like, "Oh, let's not tell the autistic Asian dude about it." And as she says that, dude walks right up on them while they're looking at the idol, and they try to hide it. And he was like, "Oh, so what was that about?" So they reveal it to him right away, reveal to him that she has the beware advantage and she has to get all these beads. And this dude has been playing the middle for a long time. And then he got roped into a three-way alliance with him and the other guys. But he doesn't really trust Gabler. Gabler's the weird dude that decided that it's a good idea to go and put palm fronds on people while they're sleeping. This guy, Gabler. All right. So he decided to he decided to trust them, even though they don't trust him, and they want to work with what's that other guy's name? I think his name is also Ryan. I don't know. They want to work with the third guy, the 19-year-old. So they tell him about it, and he decided to show, as a show of trust, to give them his bead right away. He gave him all of his beads, and that's one bead down. And of course, she has her own beads, and she can get her friend's bead, Bug-Eyed Therapist beads. So that's three. She only needs what, two more. All right. So then Bug-Eyed Therapist goes to 19-year-old dude and tells him about the idol situation, because they trust him, even though he was the one trying to form the three guys into an alliance to work against them. They trust him because he's the most competent one out of the bunch. And so they tell him about this idol thing, and he didn't want to be suspicious, so he gives him his bead. Then they have to get Gabler's bead, which should be the hardest one. Go to him to get the bead, and he gave them a bunch of beads that they don't need. So she says, unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, was like, "Oh, I actually want this. Can I have this one?" And he was like, "Well, I was going to hold that one for my daughter." So she trades him back all of his beads that he just gave her for that one. And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he gave it to her. So right away, this whole beware advantage has not been a cautionary tale for anybody. Just everyone gets a freaking idol now. So she has all the beads, and she now has an idol. So far we have Bull Ring Lesbian has has an idol from the beware advantage. Then we have Caffeinated Salesman on the Red Tribe has an idol. And then now we have, unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, also has an idol. She's on the Yellow Tribe, Bull Ring Lesbians on the Blue Tribe, and Red Tribe is Caffeinated Salesman. So all three have their beware advantage become idols, and yeah, it's just, and I think the entire tribe of the Yellow Tribe knows, unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, has an idol. So it's just ridiculous. All right, so we come to the immunity challenge. There's no reward challenge, but they were going to win a reward at the immunity challenge as well. So we come to the immunity challenge. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so we see it here. So they're going to start here. They have to run through this bundle of sticks. There's no shorter name for a bundle of sticks that I can think of, so we're just going to call it a bundle of sticks in a box. So they have to run through these bundles of sticks right here as a tribe while they're tied together. All right, run through this, and then they have to go through this obstacle course, still being tied together. All right, through the obstacle course, and after the obstacle course, they come here where they're going to get a bucket. They're going to still be tied together. There's the bucket right here with water in it. They have to get another bucket and then dip that bucket into the, or is it a pot? I think it's like a teapot or something. Dip the pot into the bucket, get the water, and the person in front of the line of people tied together holds the pot and try not to drop the water. And then they go through this little seesaw situation here, all of them, and they have to walk up the seesaw, down it as it falls when all their weight is on the top there, and try not to drop the water. And then they're going to go to the last part down here where they're going to fill up another bucket that's going to be hanging, and it's going to be on a pulley system. And that's when they get to the last part of the challenge. All right. Let's see if I can get an image of that. All right. So the last part of the challenge would be where they're going to, there we go. All right. All right, so here's the last part. And the last part, they have to roll, what's going on here? Was the blue tribe the first one to get here? Yeah, I guess they were, because he never dropped any water and he was pretty quick through the thing. So he's going to be rolling 3 balls up this ramp here, and you have to land it on top here without going over. All right, so you have to land the ball, land the first one, then the second one, then the third one, and they all have to stay up here without falling back down in order to win. All right, so as you can see, the blue tribe is the first one to get there. So the blue tribe is the first one to get there, but the first tribe to land all of their balls was, in fact, the red tribe. So the red tribe wins immunity and the reward. I think the reward was a tarp. They got a tarp. All right. And I believe after going to tribal last time, the blue tribe had the flint taken away. So they are playing to get their flint back as well. So they have to just not lose and they get their flint back. All right. So the red tribe was the first one to make it. Then the blue tribe was right behind them. But Ryan, was the guy that was in the lead there, he knocked all his balls down. He got 2 up there, and he just had to land 1 more, and the third one knocked over the rest of them, and he just had to start all over, which gave the yellow tribe a chance to actually win, and they win immunity as well, sending the blue tribe back to tribal. All right, so I'm like, well, that sucks. That means they're going to go to tribe swap soon enough, and it's going to become 2 tribes, and the blue tribe is going to have 4 people, and the yellow tribe is going to have 5, and the red tribe is going to have 4. All right, so that's what it's shaping up to look like. And as they're going back to deliberate on who they're going to vote out, Ryan reveals that he threw that challenge, that he intentionally knocked those balls over. He threw the challenge because he wanted to vote out Cassidy. He said he wanted to vote out Cassidy for a long time. I am flabbergasted by this level of idiocy. So here's Ryan over here losing the challenge for them. This is Gio, and here's Cassidy, and I don't remember what this fat dude's name is. He's lost some weight though, good for him, but he's not going to keep that weight off. So he reveals he always wanted to vote her out. I thought it was Gio that had a problem with Cassidy because he's annoying as shit and he annoyed her, which then made him not trust her. It's like a relationship of gaslighting between those two. where he's being a dick, but he thinks because she reacts negatively to him being a dick to her, that means he can't trust her. Which, I mean, honestly, he can't trust her because he's being a dick. Uh, but for some reason, Ryan decided to throw a challenge. I don't know where you get this level of ego. I don't, because I know they all watched Survivor before. Why would you think it's a good idea to throw a challenge, sir? It's better to keep the person you don't like around, because then you always have someone to vote out when you inevitably lose through no fault of your own. It's always good to have an extra person to vote out, because the moment you get rid of everyone you want to vote out, guess what? What are you going to do? You're going to have to, at least, you're going to have to either break an alliance with someone or vote out someone that you really like, or you're going to be the one voted out. So it's better to keep people around you don't like. That's stupid to get rid of them. But that's what he decided to do. So throw the challenge. And he was excited about it. He went back to his tribe. He was acting it up. He was telling all of them, oh, because he figured they have all these votes. Everyone's going to be voting for Lindsay, for Cassidy. Because they all joined in on the whole Lindsay vote. He thinks they're all working together, and I think it's stupid. So he goes back and he's hamming it up. He's telling the rest of the tribe to act like they're mad at him for losing the challenge, and he's doing all of this acting and all this extra stuff. So right away, bullying lesbian and fat dude tells Cassidy what's going on, that Ryan wants to vote her, and Ryan suggests that they tell her that they're going to vote him. So she knows everything that's going on, and he's doing all this acting for no reason. Of course, he doesn't know how dumb that is. So he threw the challenge, and he's doing acting. He's doing all this extra stuff, and his reasoning is this is going to go down on his resume. He's building his resume now, which is stupid, which is a very stupid thing to do, because in shows like this, Survivor, Big Brother, whatever, in shows like that, where democracy rules, it doesn't help you to be good. It doesn't encourage you to be great, because people that are competing with you would just simply eliminate you as a threat. They're not going to give you kudos for being good at stuff. So it's a bad idea to be building a resume before they even merge, because then you will be the biggest threat when the merge happens, and they'll get rid of you. What happens if you when they have a tribe swap and it goes down to 2 tribes, and you end up in a tribe where the numbers are not on your side? They no longer need to keep around people for strength, so they'll just get rid of you right away. Dumb move to build a resume at this point, but that's what he chose to do, like an idiot. Very disappointed with these players. So he does that, and Cassidy is scared. She's worried that, oh, I forgot to mention, they were choosing people to go to the island to risk their vote or save their vote or whatever. And they chose Gio and unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, and also I think another guy named Ryan. I don't know. There's probably only one person named Ryan, but I think there's too many Ryans in this game. I don't care what his name is. So they chose those 3 people, and Gio right away, he gets there and he is hamming it up. He's like, oh, I'm on the bottom. He's on the bottom, but he doesn't know that, but he's hamming it up for them to allow him to risk his vote and get whatever the prize is. So he's hamming it up. They're all acting like they believe him. Whatever his name is actually believes that he's at the bottom. Unfortunately, hopefully not named Chin, doesn't believe him. She doesn't care. So they get there and they flip over, and everyone chose to risk their vote. So That means two people are not going to have a vote, and one person is going to have an advantage. All right. So back on the blue tribe, Cassidy is nervous that Geo might gain some sort of advantage. So in order to protect herself, she wants them to, even though everyone wants to vote out Geo, she wants them to switch the vote to Ryan, which would be dumb to get rid of Ryan because one, he's terrible at strategy. Two, he's a bigger target. So why vote him out instead of Geo? Only reason is because Cassidy is nervous, even though they have a numbers advantage, and Gio is very comfortable and thinks that he's in the lead, and he thinks that he's working with everybody else. So if he has an advantage, you probably tell him. So they're just to make sure she's not nervous, they're gonna switch the votes. So Gio comes back and he lies to the whole tribe and he says he didn't risk his vote. And then afterwards, he talks to Bullring Lesbian and he tells her he actually did risk his vote and he opened the little thing or whatever that they got, and he won an advantage. And he shows it to her. He shows her his advantage. His advantage is the knowledge is power advantage. If you don't know, is the knowledge of powers advantage means that if you know someone has an advantage, or even if you don't know, if you know someone has an advantage or an immunity idol, you can ask them if they have it at tribal, and if they say yes, and they have to say yes if they have it, or no if they don't, and they have it, then you gain that advantage or immunity idol, and you can use it for yourself. So he tells the person in his tribe who has an immunity idol, the only person besides himself that has an advantage in the game, he tells her because he trusts her. He didn't even tell his bestie, Ryan, who he's been working together with, and the same guy who wanted to get rid of Cassidy because he wants to get rid of Cassidy. He didn't even tell him. He told Bullring Lesbian that he has the knowledge is power advantage. He didn't know he had that, but he was going to tell her he had an advantage, and he showed it to her. So now she's obviously threatened by the fact that he has this same thing that could take away her advantage. He has it, and he tells it to her. So she goes to the rest of the tribe, and she didn't tell him what he has. She just tells him that Gio lied and he chose to risk his vote. So she wants to switch the vote over now to Gio. Obviously, she wants to protect herself. And Fat Dude is on board. Cassidy is not. Cassidy's nervous. She was like, oh, I think we should still go for Ryan. It's like, if you guys were in danger of going home, I would blah, 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 blah. So she starts freaking out. She starts pulling a Lindsay, which is the same reason that they vote out Lindsay, is the same thing she's doing. She's getting nervous because of the votes, even though they have numbers. And now Fat Dude wants to consider getting rid of her for the same reason that they got rid of Lindsay, which is obviously dumb. Well, actually, it's actually smart, because their tribe would be more unified if they got rid of her than if they got rid of the other guys, because the other guys wants to work with them. So if both those guys want to work with you and you get rid of the one person that they don't want to work with, then that means your tribe is more unified. And when you split or whatever happens, you can trust the people that you're working with. Doesn't matter if you don't like them. People go off of emotions a lot in this game. It's like, it doesn't matter if you don't like them and you don't want to work with them. If you have the trust and they want to work with you, just let them be crazy. That means that they're going to be voted out before you. Just let them be crazy and let them do a ridiculous thing. That's why I thought it was stupid that they voted out Lindsay just because she freaked out. It didn't matter that she freaked out. That just means she has less trust, and it means she's in a weaker position because she can't manipulate and be against you, because she can't gather enough numbers around her because of the way she acted. It's a great reason to keep her around, but they voted her out. So they get to tribal, and blah, 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 conversations boring. They go to the vote, and the votes are read, and it came out 2 votes for Gio, and Gio was like, whoa, what's going on? And 2 votes for Lindsay. Of course, the 2 votes for Lindsay is Ryan and Gio. and the third vote is left. And everyone's waiting for what it's going to be. And I know right away if it's 2 votes for Gio, Gio's going to go home. So third vote, Gio. Gio goes home, and Ryan is there looking like a dumbass, threw a challenge to get rid of someone, ended up getting rid of his own ally, and now he's at the bottom of his own tribe. Classic stupidity. And oh my God, Survivor is killing me. I want to keep watching, but I'm just so over the nonsense. These people are so amateurish. That's why the casting choices have to be different. They can't just be getting people just for their woke, nonsense, emotionally driven stories. Get interesting people, get weird people, get fit people, get people that'll be interesting to look at, interesting to watch compete. Just do that and forget about all the other nonsense. Forget about having enough Black people, having enough women, having enough men. Forget all of that. Forget about the representations, forget about the woke stuff, and just get good competitors and entertain people that you will actually want to watch. And the show could be great. This is just nonsense, and I'm so over it. Till next time.